Next on Newswatch.
A business owner reacts to trick-or-treat on Court Street. Ohio University gets nostalgic for its homecoming celebration.
And in sports, the OHSAA released its latest computer rankings. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens. This is Newswatch.
A date has been set for Uptown Athens trick-or-treating, and one business owner is not happy about it. Good evening, I'm Mackenzie Pyatt. Thanks for joining us. The Athens City Council voted Monday and decided the trick-or-treating date will be October 26th. I spoke with the owner of Athens Underground, Barb Stout, today about how the street closing will affect her business.
Well, my business, Halloween is the busiest week of the year for me, and the streets are very crowded. The parking gets closed down early. The streets get really crowded. Nobody can park here, and it's actually difficult to even access the entrance of the building. So we have to close several hours early. It affects you no matter when it happens, but any normal Monday. But this is my Black Friday. You know, I do more business at Halloween than I do even at Christmas.
Stout says there should be only one Athens trick-or-treating date instead of the two scheduled that week to keep children from eating too much candy. Ohio University is halfway through their homecoming week celebration. Tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m., the Alden Library will have a university archive on display. The archive shows Ohio University's long history, including student newspapers, photographs, yearbooks, maps, historic event posters, handbooks, and other Ohio University memorabilia. I was able to speak with University Archivist Bill Kamak today, and he says homecoming is a great way for the alumni to learn about the university's history.
I think it's alumni coming back to share a familiar past, and I think that's one of the cool things about it. It doesn't matter what decade they graduated from Ohio University. They can come back and they probably don't know one another. I see people at this display every year. We'll have dozens of people here at one moment, and people will be talking back and forth across the table. Oh yeah, that's what happened in 1954. Well, this is what happened to us in '67. So they share these sort of things. I'm sure they do it all over campus when they meet out, wherever they go to dinner, at the football game, and the parade, that sort of stuff. It's a sharing of a familiar, coming together to share a familiar past.
And remember to join us on Saturday morning. We'll have a live stream on the homecoming parade on the WOUB PBS YouTube page. And Jacob will be live on Court Street to navigate you through the fun. The League of Women Voters in Athens County held an open forum yesterday at the Athens Public Library. The meeting was held to discuss the group's positions on the issues in the upcoming election. The League says they are in favor of Issue 1, which seeks to make party representation even in voting districts. The League of Women Voters were not in favor of Issue 2, claiming it would allow for monopolies. They also opposed Issue 3, the legalization of marijuana, saying it was an abuse of constitutional power.
And great evening to all of you. I'm Jeremy Ludeman from the Newswatch Weather Center on the campus of Ohio University. Boy, oh boy, another banner day for us outside. A very sunny afternoon, warm and a bit humid for this time of year, however. So that is going to sort of continue for the next 24 to 48 hours. 76 right now in Athens. We have calm winds, dew point at 57, so that is right on the verge of feeling uncomfortable out there. Humidity at 51%, quite high for a partly cloudy sky, and our pressure is steady at 30.08 inches. As we take a look at what's going on around the region, you'll see the temperatures are in the 70s throughout the region. We've got 73 at Rickenbacker and Columbus, 75 Cambridge, 74 New Martinsville, 77 down in the southern portions of our region at Ironton and Ripley. As we take a look at the current surface, you see there is a big weather system in the southwest, but there is one starting to get together on the northern plains. That's moving our way for Friday. I'll have more details coming up in just a moment. Mackenzie.
Thanks, Jeremy. Now, some people in South Carolina are keeping their fingers crossed that dams near their homes will hold. At least 11 dams have already failed or been breached because of record rain and flooding over the weekend. But officials are keeping an eye on 34 more dams that may follow suit. As Dave Jordan reports, one dam breach was plugged from the air yesterday.
National Guard members worked well into the evening flying Chinook helicopters over the Columbia Canal. They dropped off sandbags and heavy equipment to begin repairs caused by days of heavy rain and rising flood water.
The intention right now is we want to maintain a minimum water level in our canal, and that's what we've been working hard to make sure that we can continue to do.
That rising, rushing flood water put pressure on the canal wall Monday, causing a breach in the canal and threatening the drinking supply. Engineers quickly came up with a plan to stabilize the embankment.
We're going to put a barge across the embankment, the hole in the dike, and we'll be sinking that and securing it with these sandbags.
That work will start early Wednesday morning. Workers will use about 750 sandbags, each of them weighing 1 ton, to build a temporary dam. Then a new project begins.
And once this dam is complete, we will be able to assess the actual damage and start the repairs to the dike itself.
Mayor Steve Benjamin stopped by the canal tonight and told us he's pleased with how the plans are progressing.
It's going to take a while for us to get back to where we are. But the collective effort we've had from the state, local, and federal officials leading on this issue, I'm convinced that we'll get there sooner than people expect.
The storms are blamed for at least 17 deaths in South Carolina and for 2 more in the neighboring North Carolina. The rain has finally stopped, but some rivers in the state haven't crested yet. Today, a number of bills passed through the House and Senate. Carly Bell is on hand in the newsroom to explain some of those bills and how they will affect the Athens community. Carly?
Today, 2 bills passed the Senate, and they go on some hot button issues: child safety and mental illness. Now, one bill that did pass today is House Bill 39. This bill allows schools and camps to keep a supply of asthma inhalers that are not prescribed to specific patients. It also allows schools and camps to receive donations to buy inhalers. Now, another bill that passed today is Senate Bill 162. This bill would allow a criminal offender who suffers from a mental illness to be spared the death penalty. And the mental illnesses covered under this bill are schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and major depressive disorder. So viewers, we want to hear from you. What's your opinion on these brand new bills that passed the Senate today? You can let us know on our Facebook page at facebook.com/WOUB Public Media. Mackenzie?
All right, thanks, Carly. Protecting victims of domestic violence, that's what a new bill is focusing on. The bill gives domestic violence victims the chance to keep their personal information private when registering to vote. Legislators say many people are discouraged to vote because they are scared their perpetrators will find them through government databases. With the Address Confidentiality Program, also known as ACP, personal information such as your home address stays completely confidential.
The victims are in this unfortunate position of having to choose. Do I want to vote or do I want to be safe? And I don't think that somebody should have to choose between those two things.
If the bill passes, victims will apply to the program through their local domestic violence shelter. If someone tries to fraudulently enter the program, they could face up to a $1,000 fine and 6 months in jail. A woman is pleading not guilty to charges after deputies say she hit her husband with a car and killed him. Angela Luke of Lancaster is facing charges of aggravated vehicular homicide. The report says Daniel Luke was fatally injured during a domestic dispute that carried over into their driveway. Angela Luke was in the car with their 8- and 12-year-old daughters. She says her husband was holding onto the car as she tried to drive away. And in West Virginia, beginning next year, alarm owners will face fines if their alarm devices send police false alerts. The city of Wheeling has passed an ordinance that requires residents and businesses with burglar alarms to register with the city. Wheeling police say they still have to find a company that has the equipment to track false alarms. The West Virginia budget gap has topped $60 million. Low energy prices continue to dampen tax collections. The West Virginia Department of Revenue says September tax collections missed estimates by $55.5 million. The deficit is projected to grow $250 million by the end of the fiscal year. Severance tax collections for the fiscal year's first 3 months were more than $43 million below estimates. Governor Tomlin told most state agencies to cut spending by 4% to help close the gap. President Obama is now apologizing for an attack, and smog fills the streets in one country. Plus, the violence in Jerusalem continues. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
And now first we have breaking news. A verdict has been reached in the DuPont case. An Ohio woman who says she got cancer after drinking water contaminated by a chemical from a DuPont plant near Parkersburg, West Virginia, has been awarded $1.6 million. And now back to world news. President Barack Obama is now apologizing to the president of Doctors Without Borders for an airstrike that killed patients in Afghanistan. 12 medical staff members were killed, as well as at least 10 patients. The director of Doctors Without Borders spoke earlier today about the attack.
The attack on the MSF hospital in Kunduz was the biggest loss of life for our organization in an airstrike. Tens of thousands of people in Kunduz can no longer receive medical care now when they need it most. Today we say enough. Even war has rules.
Doctors Without Borders has called the bombing on Saturday a war crime. The Pentagon has started its own investigation, as has NATO and Afghanistan. The commander of U.S. forces in Afghanistan says the bombing of the hospital was a, quote, mistake. Millions of people in China are hoping to finally get a break from heavy smog. The capital, Beijing, and other areas have been locked like this since Monday. That's according to the Chinese Meteorological Center. But forecasters told a state news agency some cold weather is expected to disperse the smog today. Officials have been warning people to limit their outdoor activities because of pollution. To make things worse, the smog set in during a week-long national holiday when millions of tourists coverage on Beijing. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has canceled a trip to Germany as violence surges in Jerusalem's Old City and the West Bank. Police say an 18-year-old Palestinian woman stabbed an Israeli man at the Lions Gate entry to Jerusalem's Old City. The man drew a gun on the woman and shot her, seriously injuring her. In a separate incident, a Palestinian stabbed an Israeli soldier and grabbed his weapon south of Tel Aviv. Here's what Jerusalem's mayor had to say about the violence.
We're going through a period where incitements and using lies as if though Israel's trying to change the status quo in the Temple Mount, which is not the truth, which is nothing to do with the truth, using these incitements to have independent people take knives, butcher knives, kitchen knives, and stab people and hurt people.
Jerusalem's mayor also says this is all coming from the excitement from the Palestinian Authority and other Arab leaders. On Wall Street today, stocks are closed higher. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
And we saw a warm day today with a little bit of humidity, but we've got homecomings, fall festivals, a lot of big events coming up. Of course, we'll have the all-important weather forecast for the weekend events coming up next on Newswatch. Stay with us.
I support one student in college with a scholarship. Just the way I want to pass on a legacy of education. I would like to pass PBS on to the next generation. I like to think that PBS is concerned with our soul. If your soul is in the right place, you're in giving back.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
And a great evening to all of you. I'm Jeremy Ludeman from the Newswatch Weather Center. Boy, oh boy, what a fantastic day we had here in the hills of southeastern Ohio. A beautiful day. Tower cam showing the glorious weather we're having. We do have some clouds starting to move through, but it is warm, folks. Another day in the 70s for us, and we had a portion of our region reached the 80s. We had 79 today here in Athens, unofficially 82 down in Ironton. That is mighty warm for this time of year, folks. 56 our morning low out at Bush Airport in Albany, and we had 70 for our normal high this time of year. 47 is our normal low, so we are exactly 9 degrees above in the high and low temperatures for this time of year. Quite significant as we're in October already, and our record 89 degrees. Back in 2007, way back in 1892, we had 28 degrees. That was actually one of the first years a lot of the region had weather records. So that is a long-standing record that will stay intact for this evening. And we have our sunrise and sunset there. We'll lose 2 more minutes as we approach the winter solstice in December. Now let's take a look at what's going on around the region. 76 in Athens right now. We've got 77 in Ironton and Ripley. Cooled down nicely courtesy of those clouds. Also, we've got 73 up at Rickenbacker and Port Columbus airports. 75 Columbus, 74 in New Martinsville on the northern panhandle in Wetzel County. As we take a look at the current weatherscape across the country, you do see that we have 2 twin high pressures here, one around the state of Missouri and then another one to the east right there around the Tidewater region, back towards eastern West Virginia, excuse me. This low pressure system here, this is going to be a monster as it crosses the southern plains, but point your attention up to the north. This low pressure right here in the northern plains is going to make our Friday wet. Overnight lows, 55 degrees as we head towards Ironton, up towards Chillicothe as well. We're at 53 in Athens, 54 in Marietta this evening along the Ohio River. Tomorrow, big system back towards our west. As you can see, the Pacific Northwest. This is a big weather maker that could come to our area next week. It's going to be a slow mover. 3 high pressures there. We've got 2 twin lows down towards the south. Again, Texas getting a lot of rain. And we're going to see this system again start to make its move right over Minnesota and the UP of Michigan towards Wisconsin throughout the day tomorrow. High pressure in Missouri and up to the north in Canada still controlling our weather. As we take a look at tomorrow's highs, we are right around 80 everywhere. Cooler to the north normally and warmer to the south. Ironton at 81 degrees, Ripley at 81, 77, Newark, Cambridge, 78 in Columbus, southern suburbs of Columbus around Canal around 79, and it'll be 79 in Athens as well. Tomorrow night, lows right around 60 everywhere with the exception of 61 Chillicothe and 61 in Ironton. Let's take a look at that precipcast for Friday now. Here you go. Here's our chance of rain. As you see, the low pressure system has traversed across the St. Lawrence Valley. 53 tonight with partly cloudy skies, 55 at the bus stop, 79 degrees tomorrow. Clouds increasing in the PM. As we take a look at the 7-day, homecoming weekend at OU looks good, as well as the fall festivals. Temperatures in the 60s. We return to the 70s for next week.
An American scientist is one of the 3 winners of this year's Nobel Prize for Chemistry. Their names were announced at a ceremony in Stockholm, Sweden this morning. American Paul Modric is sharing the prize with Swedish scientist Thomas Lindahl and Turkish chemist Aziz Zenkar. The Turkish scientist works in North Carolina. They won the award for mapping out how cells repair their damaged DNA and protect their genetic information. Nobel officials say the discovery can help develop the new cancer treatments.
Hi, I'm Clay Benjamin. The high school football season is winding down and the latest computer ratings are out. And the reigning MAC champions Ohio women's basketball team began practice today. Those stories and more coming up next. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
My granddaughter is named June Elizabeth, but I call her Junebug. My hope is to teach her about kindness and about the love of animals and nature. I want Junebug to have the same opportunities I had by watching PBS. My husband and I feel so strongly about our PBS station that we've included them in our estate plan. PBS is part of our values, and we want to pass it on to the next generation.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back, I'm Clay Benjamin. We're into the month of October, and that means we're into the final month of the high school football regular season. Even though it feels like the season just started, the teams are making their push for the playoffs. The OHSAA released their weekly computer rankings earlier this week, and some local teams are on the list. In Division II, Region 5, Logan stays tied for second with their last weekend, while Tri-Valley jumped up 2 spots to number 8. In Division III, Region 9, Jackson jumped up 1 spot to number 2, while Sheridan moved into 11th with their win over Maysville. In Division 4, Region 13, Bloom Carroll made a big jump from 10th to 5th. In Region 14, Meigs is still sitting in the 11th spot. St. Trace is now number 1 in Division 5, Region 17. Alexander and River Valley are 5th and 6th respectively ahead of their big game this weekend. And Trimble are number 1 in Division 7, Region 25. Miller now sits in 4th place and Belpre are in 7th. From the football field to the golf course, both men and women's Ohio University golf team were in action earlier this week. The men's finished the Firestone Invitational in a 3-way tie for 4th place. Junior Peyton White led the Bobcats with a 3-round total of 2 under par. The women's team came in 2nd place at the Rocket Classic in Port Clinton, Ohio, behind MAC rival Toledo. Junior Haley Horenowich led the Bobcats with finishing 4th place individually with a score of 7 over. Freshman Nicole Smiley came in 7th overall with a score of 13 over. The defending MAC champions Ohio women's basketball team kicked off the 2015-2016 season with their first practice today. The Bobcats are coming off their best season in program history with a program-high 27 wins and their first NCAA tournament berth since 1995. The Bobcats kick off their season on the road against Big Ten opponent Illinois on November 15th. It's been a long time coming for Chicago fans, but the Cubs are finally back playing in the postseason. But they will have to face division rival Pittsburgh Pirates tonight in tonight's wild card matchup. This is the 3rd straight season the Pirates have clinched a wild card spot and is the first time the Cubs are in the postseason since 2008. The Pirates, led by the best bullpens in baseball, and while the Cubs have young talents in Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant. The Cubs ace Jake Arrieta will be on the mound tonight, and that's good news for Cubs fans as the Cubs have won 13 straight games with Arrieta on the mound. Pirates Andrew McCutchen and Sterling Marte will have the support of their home fans against them tonight. Arrieta will face off against Pirate ace Garrett Cole. First pitch is scheduled for 8:08 p.m. from PNC Park. But the American League kicked off the MLB playoffs last night as the Houston Astros shut out the New York Yankees 3-0. Carlos Gomez homered in the 4th inning to secure the Astros offensively, but from there, it was all Dallas Keuchel. The Astros pitcher received the win in dominating fashion, pitching 6 innings and only allowing 3 hits. The Yankees struggled offensively, even with home field advantage. The Astros will now move on to the ALDS and face the Kansas City Royals in Kansas City, with a 7-game series starting tomorrow night. I'm Clay Benjamin, and that's it for sports. Mackenzie, back to you.
Thanks, Clay. And actor Tom Hanks used his 10.4 million Twitter followers to help a college student who lost her ID. The actor tweeted a photo on Tuesday of a Fordham University student's ID card with the caption, "Lauren, I found your student ID in the park. If you still need it, my office will get it to you." The film star was nice enough to cover Lauren's last name. Before he sent the tweet, it was retweeted more than 5,000 times. Someone who knows Lauren says she is aware of the tweet and is getting her card back. Fordham students hope she gets a face-to-face with the Oscar winner.
And let's take a look at that forecast for tonight. 53 degrees, a pleasant evening, partly cloudy skies, light northerly winds. Tomorrow, 79, warm and humid, and we're going to see an increase in clouds in the afternoon. Actually, they're increasing right now. And we've got 79 tomorrow, 71 Friday. That's when we'll see the rain, the system moving from the northern plains. 60s for our weekend drive for OU homecoming, and then we will have 70s to start our new week, lows in the 50s, and then the 40s over the weekend.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Mackenzie Pyatt. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And again, in a verdict that has been reached in the Dew Point trial, you can find more on the verdict anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.